Alrighty, Doc from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let's see what we got going on this morning. I was a little surprised with that strength yesterday. I guess there's a constant desperation to be able to park money in something that's liquid. I know that sounds a little funny, but that's the truth of it all. And so what they're doing is they're coming to America. And I have the dollar index up on the screen. You can see that. And right over here in that little corner there, you can see it's pushing back into the buy again. Now, there's no doubt, we're trading in the 102.60s area. And, the product is actually down a few ticks today. And we're 6 weeks in a weekly sell. So you would assume that the pressure still should be on the downside. But, when money is trying to park itself in a profitable spot, in other words, you actually make money when you invest, that seems to be having a really big influence on the U.S. market. Money keeps on pouring in, and it doesn't seem to stop. And we saw the Dow yesterday up like 500 points, and the NASDAQ up like 400 points. I mean, there's still a lot of strength in these markets. As we take a sip of coffee here, the S&P 500, same thing, lots of strength. Let me get the chat line up. Where's that chat line? Go like that and like that. There we go. And so, as we stare at this, and I thought for sure we would start to chop. This thing is getting up at the top end of its range. And that's pretty aggressive. It's pretty aggressive. Whoop. Okay. Let's go like this. Okay, let's see if this... Just double checking the sound there. There we go. So, that is a somewhat surprising characteristic. Now, let's go back to what we looked at on... no more than 2 days ago. About the idea that there's the euro... I'm sorry, not the euro, the S&P 500, and you can see it's actually now challenging this area here. They're really going after. Oh, you can't see this. Do this. There we are. They're really going after the range up. They're really going after this top end of the range. Now, let's widen this out more. I mean, that's all-time highs right here. And back in July, that was all-time highs. So they're making a lift even into that, where I thought for sure this thing would go more sideways, up and down, up and down. Now, no doubt you can see here on the weekly, it's only like $1.30 off. A lot of pressure there to get this thing into the weekly buy. And then when we go over and look at the NASDAQ 100, or the Tech 100, whatever you want to call that thing. Let's see, activate. And you can see it's having the same issue. It's trying to take out this high. That is the all-time highs up in there in the 21,000 area. And you can see the weekly, you got the fast breaking up, but not the slow. It's getting through the manifold right here. So if they lift these markets up today, again like they did yesterday, then we got a shot at closing in a weekly buy. Now, the grand lady of them all, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, right there, has slid back into the weekly buy last week, and so it's already telling us that they're definitely not hesitant to reach up and get long in this market. And again, I don't know if it's the politics or what, but you can see here the Dow Jones Industrial Average has been in a basing range with a higher low right here, and that was a higher low right there versus this and there. So, and it keeps on making higher highs. Now, obviously, a lot of people, I'm sure, are looking for the slope right there between this peak, that peak, and this peak. But it's in a daily buy now for what is that, like 7 days, and same time, in a weekly buy. So it's, out of all the products, out of the stock indices, this joined in last week and said, hey, you want to be long here. Not SPYs, not NQs, but here, and it has. It's moved up from 39,000, 400 and change basically, or 500, up to over 1,000 point gain. I mean, right now we're looking at it at basically 40,700 area, and that is a real good push. It definitely is a real good push. So, and then currency-wise, I think we've seen some of that same action going on with the currencies, just as we saw with the dollar index right here. Let's put that up on the screen. There it is right there. And you can see right there, it's pushing up. It's trying to get into the buy there today, as we said at the beginning of this webinar. And it's been in a weekly sell though for 6 weeks. So it's taking my coffee punch. Could use that little push, What else can we say about any of this action? I don't think there's much more to be said. Just that money is coming into the country, and it's trying to be invested, and there's a real desperation to the idea that they're just not. We're not getting the buying and the selling that we thought we would. I thought for sure that they'd pop it up a little bit. We should be, we were in weekly sells. I'm thinking, once this daily sell stuff, goes into effect with the weekly, they're going to put pressure on it, but obviously not. They're staying in daily buys, and the daily buys, as we say at times, have a natural tendency to go to weekly buys, and that is really where we're at. I mean, it is trying to get to a weekly buy. All right. Now from there we'll leap into right there. There's the dollars. The dollar pairs trades. There's the euro against the dollar, and you see it's flirting with a little sell here, even with it up a little bit. But we're looking at a good 6 weeks in a weekly buy, and it doesn't look like it has any real deep concerns. That weekly buy looks very comfortable. We've been in daily buys. They've been wins on the daily buys from it. Strange but true. I mean, we had one loss out of the four, so 75 percentile. Four signals of being long, and 3 of them were nice wins, and 1 was a very small loss. So that is an extremely positive action. Let's take a look at cable. There it is. Cable. That is definitely starting to outperform again. It's got a lot of work to do. Maybe next week, you see down here, we'll get out of that weekly sell, and maybe it'll start to turn up. You can see the fast is leaping up. It's busted the the zero line. Looks like it's holding there. So we could see here on today it'll be 6 days in the daily buy if it closes like this, and it probably will put pressure on the weekly for Monday or Tuesday to be in a buy. Now let's take a look at that Euro GBP. That pairs trade really does a good job of keeping us in the right direction. You can see here, there's the 3rd week in a buy with no problem. And it's just 2 days in a sell. Let's put a sell in there. There's a sell there. And what it did, it had gone into a daily buy yesterday in the Euro GBP. I'm looking for this to try to find that sweet spot again on the sell side. Yep, that's where we're at on that. All right. Over on that was the British pound we were really trying to get a flavor of. And just the fact that it's in a daily sell, that means that the euro is weakening. You can see it's been that downwardly slope. It's weakening against the GBP. There is the Swiss. Swiss is a 3rd day in a buy. It is down for the day. And at the same time, we're like 14 weeks. Where's that spreadsheet at? The Swiss is, you see it on the spreadsheet, right there. 11 weeks in a weekly sell. This will be the 12th week. You can see as we move the arrow and show you the area there. That's going to be the 12th week in a weekly sell, and that doesn't look like it has any interest in jumping up this week at all. Now maybe next week, but not this week for sure. It's going to take a big move to get it to go into the weekly buy. Now, yesterday the yen, I heard, what was it? The Nikkei was up 3% yesterday. They were really reaching for it. That's the best move I think they said in like 4 years or 5 years. We're seeing Nikkei. I guess the Prime Minister left 2 days ago. I guess we're slowly seeing the last of the cleanup of that mess with the with. I catch you somewhere Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, that might be the better way. Yep. So the what is it? The yen, is inching its way back up. I mean, it's had a great, slam down. That pairs trade, the $20 trillion pairs trade, has been moved down into like the $4 trillion pairs trade. They've unwound a lot of it. Who knows how much the Federal Reserve now has parked in their accounts? That game that goes on with the Federal Reserve, basically financing anything and everything for a central bank, long as it stays inside the Fed's policy, All right, now from there, we go and take a look at the experiment. They've been playing with all-time closing highs, and we've seen some all-time intraday highs. And the Turkish lira, Euro-Turkish lira itself is really feeling the strain. Yeah. Now, yesterday they did not close in an all-time closing high. Today they're sitting at it again, trying to close above. There's the first time it's did over the. We went to 37.12, right there. Today we are at 37.08. We're just off of it a little bit. And I'm sorry, no. You know what? The actual all-time closing high is 37.08.19. So right now we are just on the edge of it, failing it. It's at 602, and it broke it at one point, and we're on a fifth day at a daily buy, and we're in what's it say on the spreadsheet? Spreadsheet has it as 14 weeks in a weekly buy. 14 weeks. This will be the 15th week. This product that's over a quarter of a year. This product has no problem whatsoever going into weekly buys and just dragging them for months upon months. We've seen one weekly buy go a year and 2 weeks. We've seen another one go 51 weeks, just 1 week off of a full year. We've seen others do like 48, 47. It's a lot of weeks in a buy, and every time the product finds a way to go higher, which obviously hurts the communities in Turkey, because they get less for their currency all the time. It's like a fire sale, that's what it is. It's not a dumpster fire, but just a fire sale. It's like they keep on lowering the price of the currency, hoping, I guess, to bring in investors. But if you don't have good laws and policies, those investors won't come in no matter what you offer them. All right, now from there, we go over to the South African Rand. right there. And again, another day down. We're piercing the 18 down the 17s, the high 17s. We here I mentioned it yesterday. We really do believe this product should be in the 13s. Maybe even 12s at this point. Yep, it's definitely a situation where it seems to be, the politics has this thing stuck in neutral, basically. All right. From that, we always go over to gold and silver and energies and so forth. So here is gold right there. See, gold is trying to lift back up. It's in a sell for a couple days here, but it has been very tough. We're just flirting with the weekly sell. It's been really hard to try to take a trade because of that. And now that it's trying to get into a sell and we're trying to lift back up again, it's like, it's not worth the play. But I'll tell you this, if we get this weekly gone and this closes in a buy, it says to me that they're going to go make another all-time high. I think we were at an all-time high no more than like 3 weeks ago, in the middle of July. From there, we shoot over to silver. Silver's been jumping up and down, going in two different directions. You can see there, they pushed it in the sell a couple days ago. Now it's trying to get into the buy again. Unfortunately, the weekly has been in the sell for 5 weeks. Looks like it's not going to change any. The fast algorithm, you can see here, where we put the arrow in like that, the blue dashed line there. You can see that it's through the zero line. So it's trying to tell us they want to lift it. But if for some reason, as much as they buy gold, they seem to be selling platinum and silver. It's like the way to offset the long in gold, I guess, and that's what it comes down to. Wow. Ketamine. Huh. All right. And so silver itself, you can see, is down a little bit today, but was above the zero line earlier. Now it seems to have failed it at this point. Yeah, we're just like, you see it's there right here on the box. You can see it. There's the daily, and there's the weekly, minus 73. This one is 0.01, just on the edge. It was above. It opened higher, traded higher. Now it's failing, and that is unfortunate. That seems to be the rationale for all of it at this point. They just don't seem to be able to get any real solid action. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Solid action. We don't seem to have solid action. And like I said, it really becomes a disappointing thing when we keep on seeing the gold moving one way and the other two really battling. I mean, we thought for sure finally we got up, at least 26 seems to be holding up at the moment. That's the other thing is that, the 26 seems to be definitely holding up. It was a matter of maybe sooner or later it was going to, give up. But I have to say right now it definitely looks like it's trying to hold the ground. Definitely looks like it's trying to hold its ground in there. And again, it seems to be the magic of the Federal Reserve itself. There's nobody that has that type of ability to trade the gold and the silver the way they do. And so that really sticks out in my mind. It's like it has to be the central banks that are plowing this capital into that product, into the gold, and at the same time they're shorting platinum and silver. All right. From there we'll take a look at copper. There's copper. It jumped, and they're doing a little buying. I guess they see a lot of relief. They see Japan straightening out. They're probably thinking, well, maybe us next. Who knows? With the Federal Reserve, with quantitative easing, it's like a free license to do some of the most outlandish concepts of investment. That's the problem. Is that QE opens the doorway for the Federal Reserve to just print money and put it in places where you normally wouldn't put it. All right. And there's the copper there. So from there, all right. So from there, let's put on. Let's put the crude oil up there. There's crude, and they're really pushing on that today. This constant story about an attack. They put something in the Wall Street Journal today, like as if there was another threat. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. We've got a threat all the time when it comes in the Middle East. They're just always. It's a very violent place, unfortunately. A lot of slavery, that type of thing. It's a very tough place. But today's Wall Street Journal is saying that any moment now, the Ayatollah in Iran has said that if Hamas's negotiations fail, they will try to invade Israel. That could be one noisy event, that's for sure. All right, now I guess I have to say something. All right, let's get to natural gas. Let's take a look at the natural gas. And there it is right there. There's the September gas. It's tried to get into the sell, and it has stayed there on a day-to-day basis. The weekly has tried to climb into the buy. It's not doing the best of work. You can see that the fast, the little blue dotted line there is definitely through the zero area. So it's trying, it's in the making it an attempt to, just lift a little bit, just something, just to show that there's some interest in the product. I think this is all election situation. No doubt about it. Trump wins. This thing's going to go to $1.60. It's going to fall even more. Then over here, we'll put the heating oil in. The heating oil is feeling that same pain. They're putting the pressure on that. And, it's very clear that that issue is staying around for them. This is the fuel that they use in the jet planes and in the trucks, the diesel trucks and the diesel cars. And they have what we call heating oil itself feeds heaters, in houses to keep them warm for the wintertime. And I would say most, if not all, of the energy sector is going to be influenced by the election. And then the bigger question is, what's the metals going to do? Are the metals going to stay firm, because of inflation? Or are they going to say, okay, that inflation is going to get devastated under Mr. Trump. He'll crush inflation, and he will bring energy prices down dramatically. So they're very positive signs. I could see the metal market heading south. I could see that. Who knows where it'll put platinum at that point. All right. That was another nice sip of coffee. Let's take a look at Brent this morning. Let's see, let's go like that. Move this over to here. There we are. And we're hoping by next week we'll have the old platform just for us to use. Let's see. Now let's put Brent in there. BR. There it is right there. You can see this is just an intraday right here. It's down to 79.35. Let's list the last 3 months of a daily chart. You can see here it's been breaking down. It tries to lift up and fails, and we're down to 79.35. Whereas West Texas, I think, what did we have on West Texas? West Texas was, well, I guess we can go like this. I'll just put West Texas on it like that. There it is right there. West Texas, last we saw, was trading in the 76 area. Let's try it over here too. Right there. I have it 76.27 now. And you can see where it's been pushing down for the last 3 days now on a daily sell. And see, where is this? I'm just looking on the spreadsheet on the screen here. Yeah, came in as 2 days in a sell and 4 weeks in a sell. And they flirted on Monday and Tuesday, and then it just seemed to wick up or something like that, or become more dynamic. I don't know how you describe it, but the oil market just seemed to start to roll over. I'd imagine, after a couple of weeks with Iran saying, very nasty things, or let's say things that would make everybody nervous, and maybe they're coming to their common sense. And so I think I said it yesterday best. If you send people out to kill people and they get killed, that's normal, And so they don't need to avenge them any more than they're already avenging them. So it's hard to believe that they would actually try to invade and attack Israel. I just don't see that. Hey, Bio First, how you doing this morning? Is it afternoon for you or something like that? It's late at night, isn't it? Aren't you in Australia or something like that? And you seem to be very happy we're being a little bit earlier, and I think we're going to keep on trying to do this. Like Monday, we'll go back to normal for a little bit. Then I think we'll slip into we'll play it by ear every so often. We'll jump into a 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning here, and in this way you can. You're good, excellent. Glad to see that. I like that. We're a little surprised of the way the energies are constantly pressing to go up, and I guess what it really comes down to is that it tells us more about where the world is with the problems in the Middle East at the moment. That's what it comes down to. And we really don't expect to see Iran really do anything big. We'd be really surprised if they did. All right. So we've seen the energies, and we've seen the metals, and we've seen the currencies. Let's just take a look around the neighborhood, get a feel for what's been going on. Let's see. Let's just show you what the intraday market looks like. You see there, just a little pressure in the short term. Let's just put one of the intraday charts up. You can see that this is basically the European open right in here. They seem to have sold it down. This is the Asian market right here. It's very tight nowadays, the Asian market. Very thin. Looks like they're trying to go after something like that. And you see that low there. Now the bigger question is if they start taking these lows out, maybe that will be some type of sign of weakness. Right now you can see that The trend has been your friend, and it's been in a buy more than it's been in a sell. Let's take a look at some of the foreign markets. I always find that interesting. And like I said, we were working on the code again yesterday to re-get that other one, the other beta program we had, where we'll be able to see what our math is telling us about, the Asian and Australian markets, and just European markets and all that. We really enjoy that. So let's just start off. Let's see, world indices, and you can see. Let's go to. See if we can get the Nikkei up there. It's usually down at the bottom. There it is. You can see there's the Nikkei, and from that V bottom of the big unwind, they've really driven it up. Looks like it's trying to take out this high here of 39,400. From there we go over to the Kospi. Right there. Let's see, where's the Kospi? Right there. You see the Kospi was up 52 points today. Let's see what the yeah, look at that, doing the same thing. It's trying to land in this target zone in here and challenge the 2800. We closed at 2697. The Taiwan market. Where's the Taiwan? World indices. Come on, you can do it. There it is. Right there. There's the Taiwan market. And as you can see, it's been real choppy tight. Let's see what the daily looks like on it. There's the 3-month. You see it's done the same thing. It's playing around in this high area, the Taiwanese market. And that is the next, we've seen what Shanghai has done and so forth. We'll go check them out at the moment. All right. Let's see. I heard the phone ding. Let's see who did it. Oh. There we are. Let's put that. Now, the Taiwan market, this is that, the chip center, I guess you could say. In other words, it's very important. The production of, chips to do AI and, other stuff. It's not just AI, but it's definitely a very powerful economy. Even with China always trying to drive them crazy and threaten them. Still a very powerful economy. Matter of fact, let's take a look at the Shanghai index. Where was it? Right there. There's Shanghai. Right there. You can see that long sloping drop from the 3200 area down to 20. I guess the low was there at 2839. It's been China is. We're impressed. We see copper showing some strength. Is usually when we see strength in copper, that usually tells us that there is some type of buying going on, and that's good. For China, of course, and because a lot of people have lost faith in the economy there, and there's not much. There is no real way for people to really complain about it. They're the government's, let's say, very protective of their powers. So there's the Shanghai. Let's see what the Hong Kong's been doing. Hong Kong is usually less I guess the best way to describe it is less potent, or nowhere near as pushed around. Come on, world indices. There we go. Right there. Here's the Hang Seng. You see the Hang Seng is lifting much better than the Shanghai index. Shanghai is still parked down in the lows there. Let's just go back to it again. There we are. Yeah, it's nowhere near the lift. I mean, they did put a little push into it 2 days ago, but pretty much unchanged today from it all. Up $2. That's nothing. No doubt, it's a not even a tenth of percent. No, I'm sorry, a tenth of 1%. That's it. It was up 0.07 tenths of 1%. There we are. So from there, we go over to, let's see, where is it at? Markets, world indices. There we are. You see how the Nifty 50 looks. If they ask for it. Interesting. Alright, let's look at the Nifty 50. There it is, right there. Now that's coming up to, I think right there, that 25,000 was the all-time highs. So we're at 24,541. Won't take much to push this thing over the top. Let's go back and look at it year to date, which is like almost 9 months. Yeah, see right there, that July high was an all-time high there. It was an all-time high here in the States, and it's been a push going on, and it doesn't seem to back off. No matter what goes on in these markets, they just keep on finding new ways to get to new all-time highs. Let's see what the DAX is up to today. Let's see, DAX. There it is. DAX. Let's try this one more time. Let's see. Here's that European Stoke 50. Let's see how that looks. And they're showing a lot. That's it's turning into a V bottom. Also, we're seeing some real strength kick out there. I would think that this would be. I don't know. I'm saying this out loud. I'm thinking to myself, they're not going to take it much more than where they took it. But you know what? We're seeing a lot of stock indices, especially here in the States, show lots of strength. Whereas I thought for sure they would, just move up. I'm surprised they picked up the 500 yesterday. I figured, 150, 200. But no, they really, we got a lot of outside money coming in at this point. This is the place to be. That's for sure. This is the place to be. All right, let's go over to the DAX and see what the DAX looks like today. Markets. World markets. There it is. And let's find the DAX. There's the DAX. You see here, it's Same thing. Lots of good climbing and buying. I'll tell you, I read some really strange stuff about France. That sounds like they're really just really lost and going nowhere. There it is right there, the CAC 40. It's up about a quarter percentage point today. And you can see the all-time highs in the CAC is way back there. Let's go to 6 months. Looks like back in May it was at all-time highs. Let's see what 1 year looks like. April there. Late March. Yeah. So let's see. I'm just answering this phone call. There we are. All right. So there's the CAC 40. I saw they have a split government at the moment. That's what seems to be the real pressure point in that country, is the split government. I guess the Pen Party, I guess you could call it, is the biggest party now in France. Almost 32% of the voters voted for them, and everybody else is in the low teens. You have to put the socialist and the Mitterrand's party together. Not even that can basically give them power over the Le Pen party, basically. They're the largest in Parliament now. But the socialist parties have all linked together to fight Le Pen. Capitalism in their head is evil or something like that. Something wacky. All right. From there, we'll go over to London and see what the FTSE looks like. Let's see if it's right there. No FTSE there. There it is right there. There's the FTSE. Let's go with the FTSE. FTSE's reflecting weakness too. Down 33. Here's a 6 month of it. And, the all-time high was in May. Just like a lot of the others, and it failed. And now it's climbed back up into this side of the range right around there. And we'll see if that fails again, but we're slowly drifting down. Matter of fact, you can see it here on the intraday. Check this out. Where's that mouse at? Oh, that's it. There it is. Here's the S&P 500 on the intraday. You can see we're at the lows of the day now, and it's going after basically this 57, 58 area on the futures contract, the 557, 58. We're right on the edge of it. All right, and then from there, I guess what we'll do is we'll finish it off by looking at the 4 indices here in the States. And if anybody has any stocks they would like to see, we can try to tune in to them at the same time. There it is. There it is. Here's the S&P 500. You see it's trying to dip down a little bit. Let's widen it out a little bit more there like that. And we have not broken out of that sell that's going on. But the fast is, and look at how close it is. I mean, if they start buying this today, they could put this thing into a buy. I mean, the weekly buy. It really could happen. What's always fascinating is, we see the Dow Jones, as I showed you earlier. The Dow Jones was when it came in this week in a weekly buy already. Now here's the Tech 100 or NASDAQ right there. And you're not seeing this. There we are. And you can see that that's trying to dip back down, but it's got a lot more room, and it's not through the zero line as fast. It's got 194 points to try to get up into it. And then we showed you earlier how the Dow looks like. Where's that? Right there. There's the Dow, in that weekly buy right there. And now let's put the Russell up there, because they probably lifted the Russell yesterday very well, since the market was very firm. And if they didn't, that really keeps on screaming that this is just a dead cat bounce. Yeah, see, look at that big gap. They went from a settlement of where is it at? Right there. A settlement of 2,092 on Wednesday. Yesterday they gapped it up and closed. What was that? That's 156 points. It's a big move. Today it's just up a little bit. We're getting a red and a green. You can see it's playing with the daily sell with our math, and it's still in that weekly sell. It doesn't, as much as it's trying. It's it's still in that weekly sell. We always follow the histogram. In this case here, it's blue because we're using the fast, because the beta in this product is so high that it needs to be adjusted for that action. Ooh, Jackson Hole is next week, eh? So it'll be a noisy week between the Democrat convention and Jackson Hole. All right. That's pretty much the 4 stock indices. Let's take a quick look at. Let's see if we can do this. File. Let's close this. No, let's just open this up. We're going to go take a look at the stocks real quick, and then we'll get out of here. Also, I got to figure out, what was the emphasis today of this whole market? And I guess it is that the QE really keeps the markets enormously firm. I guess that's a nice way of looking at it. Enormously firm, very comfortable. They're not interested in trying to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They definitely want to own these things. There we are. There it goes. All right, right there is. Oh, it's backfilling still. And so that is the. That's Tesla. You can see Tesla's been in a daily buy, and it's having a problem getting into the weekly buy. Just the fast is up there. Now let's go take a look at Apple. There's Apple. Apple's been in a daily buy, as you can see on the spreadsheet, for 9 days, 10 days, something like that. 9 days now in a daily buy. Just 1 week in a weekly buy, but that's been just like the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It was very comfortable to start climbing. Let's see what we got there. All right, now from there, we go over to Amazon. Amazon's lifting up again. It's the second day in a buy. The weekly is trying to turn. You see here, Meta. It looks like Apple. It's you're talking about like 9 days in a buy. What's it say on the spreadsheet there? Meta is 6 days. It's going on 7 days. That's what it is. And you can see it's climbing into the weekly buy with no problem right there. Might as well just get rid of the little box at this point. It's going to close in the weekly buy with this action. From there, there's Google. You see Google went into the sell yesterday. It's trying to perk up, and it's in a weekly sell too. So that weekly sell was a great weekly sell, and here we are. We're finally, this one failed right here. Got into a weekly sell, and it just turned right around and went back into a buy. So it took a lot of your, not a lot, but took some profits away from the last trade. And today it's doing the same thing. It's going in the wrong direction. We'll see. Remember, this is pre-market. You can't really trust a lot of this trading unless it's the futures contract. But even then, it's very hard to take a lot of this trading serious until the New York Stock Exchange opens up. Let's see what NVDA looks like this morning. Right there. NVIDIA. Same thing, it's a little bit higher than yesterday's close, but again, it's pre-market. You can see it's trying to climb into that weekly buy today, right there. Let's put a line in there. I wonder if that's a sign that they're going to sell it down today. We'll watch that closely today. I'd imagine if NVDA holds up, I'd imagine the rest of the market will hold up. I think it'll represent, what action there is for the day itself. All right, now let's come up with a title today. What did we talk about? To a great extent, it's still the Japanese situation, especially when you see the way the Japanese market lifted up. It really says to me that the QE influence of world markets is alive. I think that's the best way to describe it. In other words, they're still buying, from central banks, brokerage houses. It seems like the Federal Reserve is still, still deeply involved. So how did I say that? QE is still alive. There we are. And I think that's the best way to describe everything we're seeing, is that it's influenced by the central banks more than it's influenced by the money managers. That's the problem. Now, the bond dealers who are so independent that they can get away with it, that's why they refer to them as vigilantes. Bonds, they've... Let's just put the 30-year bond up there real quick. I know it's a government bond, but we'll still just use that as a good example. Let's see, right there. You see it tried to bounce. When the price goes up, interest rates are dropping, but today you can see they've sold it down and they're trying to... That's yesterday, actually. Let's see what today looks like. There it is, yeah. So as the price goes up, interest rates are going down. So they sold it down yesterday, and they're trying to turn it back up again today. And you can see it's in 5 days in a daily buy, and it's like I don't know, 14 weeks. Excuse me, 15 weeks in a weekly buy. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's 6. 1, 2, 3. That's 9. 1, 2, 3. That's 12, 13, and 14. This would be the 14th week in a weekly buy, and it's come from the the 115 area, and we've traded now up to the 126 area. So it's a really good move. All right, traders, everybody have a safe and smart weekend. We'll see you on TGIM, which will be Monday. Thank goodness it's Monday. All right. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders.